Hello.
I'm sitting there for ages saying, I wonder if it's taking him so long, and then I looked down and I realised I was offline.
What a fun.
Good afternoon, Derek, not good evening. It's just
good evening.
That
Did I just say good evening there?
No, I was saying it was me that said that.
Oh.
I said good afternoon. It makes a change for it being evening. Is that not what I said?
I don't know, I messed up.
Oh, for God's sake.
We'll start that again
straight away, for God's sake. Oh dear, right.
I do it in the autopilot now, so I don't sometimes know what I'm saying.
I can't stop laughing at it. Hold on. Right, compose yourself. Right, on you go.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, no, but
right. Took the ball and the baits on it. He took the ball and the baits on.
The baits, I like that. Is that his new nickname? The baits.
Was that inflatable Ingrid or your ma?
That was my mum. It's my mum. Inflatable Ingrid's up in the loft, mate.
Oh well, burst.
Need to buy a new puncture repair kit. Anyway, mate, give me 2 seconds? I need to go to the toilet. All right?
Again?
What do you mean again? This is the first time.
Do you know go before you start this thing?
A day, Derek. See, when it comes to having a weak bladder, I don't think you can criticise. Do you know what I mean? 2 seconds.
Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the iReady podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and with me is my co-host Dave. How are you doing, Dave?
Good afternoon, Derek. How are you?
Not bad. Yes, as Dave said, it's the afternoon. We're doing a podcast for a change.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, Derek. I'm, as a lot of people know, recovering from an operation, and you are basically just waiting on your good wife ready to give birth to your first child. So she's past her due date now and you're just about ready to go at the drop of a hat. So if we're halfway through the podcast and suddenly we don't hear Derek, we know exactly what's happened. He's away to the hospital with his missus, so don't worry, folks. Hello?
Sorry Dave, I had to go there, my wife's just
bro, I can't believe I fell for that.
You fell for that.
Absolute knob. Oh, dear. Right, okay.
Yes, we've got a few games to cover today. Hopefully we can get through them before my wife gives birth. So, but we'll crack on and we will go down the tunnel and onto the pitch. Right, the first game we've got to cover was on Saturday the 24th of February. It was a 2-0 win at home to Hearts. We lined up Foderingham, Tavernier, Bates, Martin, John, Goss, Docherty, Candias, Windass, Murphy and Morelos. On the subs bench we had Anik, Alves, Halliday, Holt, Miller, Cummings and Herrera.
Yep.
Before we get into the game, down at my section in the West Enclosure, all game, and I kid you not, all game, there was a silly woman shouting and screaming, and it sounded as if there was a seagull in fucking distress. I kid you not.
What was she shouting at?
I've no idea. There was somebody sitting next to her, and he must be deaf, that's why he never said anything. All game, it was just, I couldn't even, I watched the game back on RTV, and you could even hear it as well. Crazy.
Is that right?
Aye.
Alright, okay.
Annoying as fuck, but... Right, on the 7th minute, there was a good move resulting in Goss having a shot from 25 yards, forces a good save out from the keeper, and he put it out for the corner. In the 8th minute, the corner taken, initially cleared, we got possession back, we knocked it around, Docherty has a shot from 25 yards, forcing the keeper to make a great dive and save, and just keeping it out. Morelos couldn't capitalise on the loose ball. Certainly, from the early stages of the game, we looked quite up for it, and we were going for it straight away, which is good to see.
Yep.
17th minute, there was a good long ball up by Hearts to Lafferty on the left. He took the ball and beats on, and he had a looping shot from 20 yards, forcing Foderingham to tip it over the bar. I said in my reaction pod, this is when I kind of thought Hearts started to get a wee bit more of the grip of the game, and they kind of controlled midfield. I've since watched the game back, and whereas I wouldn't say they controlled midfield, they certainly figured out how we were playing, to be honest, in that kind of 15-minute spell between 15 and 30 minutes. What was your thoughts on that?
Derek, I don't know if they figured out. I mean, I look back and I can't really remember Hearts having another serious chance apart from that long shot. You're maybe right. They maybe sort of piled into the midfield at that point to try and stop us playing, but I still think that we were the dominant team at that point. I think they basically just tried to stop us playing after that. Maybe that one wee chance gave them a wee bit more confidence, I don't know. But when you actually, again, at the time when you're watching it, you seem to think, oh no, that's them getting back into it. But when you watch the game back, you realise that, they didn't really. We were still controlling the match at that point, but they were maybe just putting us under more pressure, I would say, rather than coming out on top at that point.
Yeah, they did get another chance in the 22nd minute when the ball wasn't cleared and there was a shot from the edge of the box from Hearts forcing a diving save from Foderingham. On the 25th minute, Morelos got the ball in the box, was taken down from behind. Morelos got to the ball first and nothing was given. I initially thought, when I was at the game, I didn't think it was a foul. Watching it back, it certainly made the referee make a decision, and he obviously made it. He clearly got to the ball first and he was clearly kicked from behind. Again, it's one of these ones, I've seen them given, I've seen them not given. So,
aye, as you say, Derek, it's starting to, it's becoming as no surprise. I can't remember the last time that me and you covered a match that we've not spoke about a penalty that we've seen as certainly being a foul or some sort of major decision, and we're not getting it. I can't remember the last time that we covered a match and that's not been the case.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if you can. It's actually becoming not surprising anymore, to be honest with you.
Maybe not penalties, but certainly refereeing decisions that have been given against us rather than for us.
Aye.
And we've obviously got another 2 games to cover, which we'll get into as well. But in the 28th minute, it was a good move, resulting in John crossing from the left and Morelos heads out wide. He really needs to sort out these headers, I think. I mean, he scores some cracking goals with his head, but he also misses some glaring chances as well. And we did get our just desserts on the 40th minute with a goal from Murphy, which was just a piece of individual brilliance. Doherty feeds a great ball to Murphy on the box on the right hand side, takes the ball into the middle, took on 2 players, took on the keeper, then turns the ball to the right side and taps it into the net. It was one of these ones where you were just shouting, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, and then it ended up did, and it was fantastic. Great piece of skill, and obviously one of the reasons why we bought him.
Yeah, no, it was excellent. Delighted for him as well, Derek, to score a fantastic goal like that. For it being his, his first goal at Ibrox, it was tremendous. As you say, the way he ran through, he beat one man, we're all shouting hit it, beat his second man, we're shouting hit it, beat his third man, we're shouting hit it. And just as we thought that he'd missed his chance, he managed to sort of twist his body right round and get the shot, which went through, about 3 of the Hearts players. I think they maybe thought that they'd missed his opportunity to shoot as well, but thankfully didn't. An absolutely brilliant goal. Really, really pleased for him. Yep.
Going into half time now, Simpson, there was a guy, Adal, I think his name was, for Hearts. He was already booked. He committed a series of other yellow card offence fouls, and the referee never gave anything. And it's since transpired that at half time, the referee went up to Levine and said to him, listen, if he makes one more foul, he's off. And subsequently, before half time, the second half kicked off, he was taken off. Now, I've heard of referees saying to players and saying to managers during the game, listen, calm him down, otherwise he's going off. I've never heard of a referee going into speaking to a manager at half time and saying, get him off.
No, I've never heard of that either, Derek. As you say, you hear about it actually in the matches, the referee telling players and that, and it's certainly happened before, but no, I'm the same as you. I've never heard of that happening.
Just, it baffles me, but, that's, again, we'll get into the referees anyway. Second half, as I said in the reaction pod, is my neck was cricked because we basically played the full half in the Hearts half of the park. 49th minute, Morelos down the left wing, crossed on the deck, Windass touches the ball over the bar. 55th minute, it was a good double save from the Hearts keeper. 58th minute, Candias and Windass go 2v1. Great ball to Windass from Candias. He tries a first time shot, but it was quite a weak effort, and it was a save for the keeper and out for the corner. I think Windass was, certainly having one of his off games. It was good that he was getting in that position, but it was a pretty lazy finish, I thought.
Yeah, he did say that in a wee sort of tweet that he put out after it, that he had lost his shooting boots in this game. Certainly with the chances he had, the way he's been playing, you would have expected him to at least score even one of them, Derek, but he didn't.
Yep. 64th minute, it was good work play with Morelos to Candias, then back again to Morelos to have a shot on the edge of the box, forcing another good save from the keeper. Maybe a few minutes before this happened, Nashim started to warm up, and he went right in front of the Union Bears and roundly got booed, which was quite fun to see. And then he did come on as a sub in the 72nd minute, and he was again roundly booed. No surprise there, and I don't think he really touched the ball either, did he?
No.
74th minute, Tavernier with a good ball in from the right. Bates headers the ball just over the bar. On the 75th minute, Morelos comes off and Cummings comes on. 82nd minute, Docherty came off for Holt to come on. 85th minute, Murphy took the ball forward on the left, had a shot, and another good save by the keeper. 87th minute, Windass with a free kick from 25 yards on the left, up and over the wall, a great save from the keeper who put it out for the corner. Certainly I remember saying as well, and it was clear to see that Windass, I think it wasn't his day and he needed to come off a lot earlier, which was annoying that he never, to be honest. There's a lot being said about, he certainly seems to be the one of the favourites of Murty, so
yeah,
I don't think that there's no many times he's came off, is there?
No, I don't think so. I want to speak about him later on, as I've been having I had a wee sort of Twitter debate with a few supporters, and not that I'm going to say that I'm right and stuff like that, and they're wrong, but we'll discuss Windass after after the games and stuff, just to get your opinion on him, Derek.
Yep. And we finally got the second goal on the 88th minute, and it was the resulting corner from that free kick was not cleared. Eventually comes to Candias on the right, a great cross on the deck and tapped in by Russell Martin. So
yep.
And I think RTV's sound must have been knocked out by that, because when the goal went in, all he heard was Lovenkrands shout yes, and then there was a clicking banging sound, and then there was no sound for the next few minutes. So
excellent. No, it was a great time to score, Derek. Just because we were well in control, Derek, and we were as you say, the whole of the second half. The ball was in the Hearts' end, but when it's at 1-0, there's still always that wee chance, isn't there? That wee sort of niggling doubt in your head that they could get a breakaway goal. It could just happen. So I think it settled the nerves, and it gave us the 3 points, which was fantastic, and just a relief more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously a good win there, and we dominated the game, and as you said, Hearts really only had a couple of chances and nothing major at that, so certainly good to see.
Yeah.
Alright, into the next game now. It was on Tuesday the 27th of February. It was away to St Johnstone, and we won 4-1.
Yes.
Yeah. We lined up Fodingham, Tavernier, Bates, Martin, Halliday gets in a start, Docherty, Goss, Candias, Windass, Murphy and Morelos. On the subs bench we had Anik, Miller, Alves, Holt, Herrera, Cummings and Hodgson. Obviously John got injured in the last game, so Halliday filled his position there, which is not as outlandish as you might think, because he did come on as a sub for that position.
And he has played in that position before, Derek. Apparently he played quite a few games. When he played at Bradford, he played at left back, so it's certainly not a position that's completely alien to him. And to be perfectly honest, I think he done all right, Derek. He never put a foot wrong. He wasn't spectacular, but at the same time he didn't look out of place. Yeah, absolutely. Saying that though, I don't think he's been tested in these games though as much as he could have been, so it'll be a different story if he gets that position in the Celtic game anyway. Yeah. Really, it was going to be it's always going to be a potential banana skin going to these places, and especially with the weather was just starting to close in at this point, so it was not the greatest. But anyway,
I don't think there was any doubt that we were going to any doubt in the game whatsoever. Second minute, Murphy was running. Two Saints players slid in. Murphy accidentally steps on the Saints player as he was running. Since where else you meant to put your foot? It's a natural thing to do. And Chris Sutton, the commentator, intimated that it might have been a foul or meant by Murphy, which is absolutely ludicrous.
I know, incredible. I know.
11th minute, there was a long ball lofted through the middle. It was a great pass by Goss. A great touch from Morelos, tried to round the keeper and taken right out by the keeper, and the penalty was given. Now the debatable feature here was, should it have been a penalty? It was obviously a penalty given. Should it have been only a yellow card to the keeper, or should it have been a red?
But without a shadow of a doubt, Derek, and the reason that I say this, again, I sat and I watched it with my wee boy, and I think we spoke about it on the wee sort of post-match pod that we did after it. If Morelos, if the goalkeeper hadn't have touched Morelos, he was taking the ball past him and he was just going to tap it into the net. He'd taken it round him. He was about to steady himself to shoot. The goalkeeper is taking him out, meaning, he was the last man and he did stop a goal scoring opportunity. It's as simple as that. So it should have been a red card straight away.
I mean, I've never been an advocate of the whole red card and the penalty thing, because that's double jeopardy there. I know they've done that for one Euro Championship or one World Cup, I can't remember, but the law is, goal scoring opportunity. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty, then, and a red card. It's the thing about it is, right, you give the yellow card to the keeper. What happens if we miss that penalty?
Exactly.
So you've no advantage there. So
yep, no.
And their keeper had the cheek to come out and say that his intent was to get the ball, so it shouldn't have been a penalty. What the fuck is that? Seriously?
No, that's nonsense. Surely 99.9% of challenges inside the box, the defender's going for the ball and not the guys. I mean, that's absolutely a ridiculous statement to make. You know what I mean? So, aye.
Anyway, Tavernier, cool and calm as you like, took the penalty and sent the keeper the wrong way, so fantastic. Went 1-0 up.
Yep, superb.
On the 18th minute, the ball crossed in from the right. It may have hit the hand of the Saints defender. If we're going to be pedantic, and obviously over the last few games we've had handball decisions in the box go against us, which we're certainly not. We're going to highlight every handball in the box.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
20th minute, it was great play from Doherty down the left. Nice pass to keep it going on the left. Crossed in, eventually cuts back to Morelos, who has a shot. It was a mistimed shot, but it's sclaffed off the defender. And we went 2-0 up on the 25th minute with Windass. Lovely hold-up play on the edge of the box from Doherty. Passes to Candias, who holds up the ball. Passes back to Doherty. Lovely through ball right through the middle of the defence to Windass, who hits it into the back of the net. It was such a well-timed move. It was, you honestly thought that Windass was a mile offside, but when you look back in the replay, it was a mile onside. So it was a fantastic, lovely move.
Excellent. You said it before, Derek. It's just the fact, they're on the same wavelength at that point. It was just so good. Doherty was outstanding in the match, and as you say, that pass through, just they just all knew where they were supposed to be. He's the whole timing and the pass, the weight of the ball, and everything was just perfect. And again, just like what you said, well onside. And a great finish. St Johnstone defenders didn't know where to look, either did the goalkeeper, and before they realised that we had scored it. So, no, an absolutely brilliant goal, great team goal in total, and then a great finish at the end. Really, really pleased.
Yep. In the 32nd minute, we had the ball in the back of the net, but the whistle had already blown. Bates deemed to have been the one who was fouling the defender. You look at the replay, Bates was the one getting dragged back into the actual box, and it was a foul given against them.
That's right,
Baffling. On the same minute, 32nd minute, Saints had a cross from the left, header by their attacker, and the other attacker had a good effort with a scissor-type kick, forced a good save from Fodingham to put it over the bar. And I don't think they had much else in the game, to be honest, other than that. 38th minute, Murphy got the ball in midfield, drove the ball forward, was filled on the edge of the box to draw a free kick. It was really good play. And from that free kick, Goss had an absolute peach and scored to make it 3-0.
Yeah.
Lifted it over the wall into the bottom right-hand corner. I don't know if many people noticed this, but it could have been Tavernier or Windass who took it as well. Tavernier was hovering over the ball. Windass walked up to him and he started mouthing off about, right, I'm going to put it in this corner, put it in that corner, and then Goss, who was just calmly standing next to them, just went up and taken it. So I don't know if that was a wee meant ploy to try and outfox defenders.
I don't know.
It was fantastic anyway.
It was a great goal, and as you say, technique was brilliant. He managed to get it just over, the wall, just over. It was measured to, absolute perfection and dipped right down into the corner. A fantastic goal. He's a special player, Derek. I'm really pleased that we've got him in our team now. I really am.
Yep. And on the 45th minute, another baffling piece of refereeing. Kane kicked out at Bates and he only got a yellow. I'm sorry, but if another player kicks out, which is called violent conduct, and the referee sees it, then it's got to be a red card, because he's obviously clearly seen something to give him the yellow card in the first place. I mean, this is what's even more amazing. Chris Sutton even thought it was a red. Yeah,
I know, he did say that, Derek. No, it was shocking, and we'll get into the game that we're going to cover after that. Another incident on Bates, which was clear as day as well, that you'll get into. But it was so clear, it was baffling, and and you can see from the replays that the referee was in the area. He must have seen something, or the assistant referee must have seen something, because everybody else in the whole of the stadium seen it, as well as the cameras. Absolutely shocking, and yet that again should have been instantly sent off for that as well, and wasn't. So that's shocking again.
As I said, it's the fact that he's seen it, so he's given a yellow, so he's seen something. So terrible. This is where it kind of comes out, where referees need to be able to give clarification on their decisions, because it's baffling everyone in that respect. But we'll get into more about referees later. Into half time anyway. 3-0 up, it kind of largely took the sting out of the game. Second half wasn't as exciting as the first half, but we certainly did have a few chances, and we did go 4 up as well. In the 52nd minute, it was a good move down the right hand side, great cross in and cleared for a corner just before our attacker got the ball. A minute later, it was a quick break from our defence, started from Goss, ended up 2v1, Windass in on goal. He took too long a first touch, defender tracking, attempted to pass to Morelos, but the keeper had come out to gather the ball just before Morelos got the ball. Not great play by Windass in the first place with his touch, but we'll let him away. We're 3-0 up. Anyway, we went 4-0 up on the 55th minute with Morelos. Good hold-up play from the throw-in on the right near touchline. Cross came in, bounced in front of the goal on the right-hand side, and with an amazing header at a very tight angle, Morelos heads it through the hands of the keeper.
Yep, it reminded me of Inspector Gadget a wee bit, Derek. Remember Inspector Gadget?
I do, yes.
Go Gadget neck. That's what it was like. He sort of turned and flicked his head, and outstretched his neck as much as possible to get on the end of it. It just sort of bounced. It was heading towards it, and he just basically added the momentum to it. Absolutely fantastic. The way that he, that's very quick thinking of his, and was able to get it in. Absolutely brilliant goal. I thought it was. I really did. I thought it was excellent. It was something completely different, and something else that the guy's got in his locker.
An extendable neck, obviously.
Maybe extendable something else, I don't know, but no, it was excellent.
But that's what I'm saying, he scores the awkward things, and he duffs the easier ones.
I think it's all to do with the actions, Derek. I think the ones that he's got, again, going into the next game, he had a great chance to score as well, and I think sometimes when he's got too much time to think about something, instead of just instinctively doing it. It's a bit like Kenny Miller, Derek, to be honest with you. When Kenny Miller's got just a split second to react to something, he usually scores, but when he's got time to think about it, it's usually fluffs it, and it's maybe a wee bit of that. So that's certainly something he needs to work on. I don't know if some of the older. I was about to say some of the more experienced strikers out there, but when Kenny Miller's the experienced striker, and that's the type of thing that happens to him, it's maybe know him that should be giving him the advice. But you'd like to think that there's other people out there that would be helping him. But I can't slag the guy off, Derek. I think he's absolutely sensational, and I think we're maybe just picking at things here that we just as you say, he's still young, he's still learning, and hard work hopefully it'll come for him.
Yep. 57th minute, Tavernier with a shot from long range, but it went wide. 58th minute, Bates got in possession on the left side of the box. Ball came in, and Foderingham had to make a close range save with his feet before the attacker got to the ball. And we did concede our goal on the 60th minute. The corner came in, poor marking, free header into the back of the net. I think that was Martin. I think Bates got the blame for that one with a lot of fans, but if you see, it was Martin should have been on the guy that ended up getting the header. So
maybe just a bit complacent at that point, Derek, being 4-0 up. You don't know, but
just after that, though, 61st minute, Candias came off and Cummings came on. 63rd minute, Goss had a shot from distance, saved with the keeper, but spilled, but only for him to recover it again. 70th minute, absolutely shocking challenge on Murphy with the player standing right on his foot. Referee played on as we had possession, and when the ball was knocked out, eventually no yellow given. A complete joke, and that left him out for that left him injured for the game against Falkirk there, and he's still a doubt for the Old Firm game. Once again, our player, clear as day. It was much like the Ryan Jack situation with Kipre, only it was obviously on his ankle, his foot this time rather than his knee, but exact same issue. Our players are completely getting no protection from the referee with the challenges getting put in against us.
I know, exactly. It's happening, and as I say, going into the next game as well, Derek, we've got another incident as well, which was absolutely shocking. Which didn't get picked up either, but we'll get into that in a wee while.
Anyway, he tried to play on, and he came off on the 77th minute due to the injury, and Alves came on. 81st minute, shot from distance by the Saints, but they went just by the post. Foderingham had it covered anyway. And 88th minute, great tenacious play from Morelos in midfield to win the ball. Won it fairly, got the ball, drove it forward, past the Cummins, who tried the shot, but the defender was right in front of him. And that rounded out the game. So again, a potential banana skin, and we cruised the game, didn't we?
Yeah, totally cruised it, Derek. I was delighted. The performance in the first half, the start of the second half, absolutely sensational stuff. We were on the front foot for the whole of that point. When we scored the fourth goal, naturally the foot went off the gas with us, as any team would have. But certainly absolutely fantastic attacking play from us, and sort of the first sort of two-thirds of the match where it was brilliant. It was great to watch.
Yep. So the next game the last game here was Sunday the 4th of March. It was a 4-1 home victory against Falkirk in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. As I said in the reaction pod, I had a ticket, but I decided not to go just due to the weather and due to impending baby coming along. I didn't want to get stuck at all, so I decided not to go.
Yeah,
kind of gutted, obviously, but it needs must sometimes. Anyway, I think there was 3 changes for this game. We lined up Anik, Tavernier, Alves, Bates, Halliday, Goss, Candias, Docherty, Windass, Cummings and Morelos. Subs bench, we had Foderingham, Miller, Dodu, Herrera, Hodgson, Holt and Martin. We really kind of came out the traps, didn't we? First minute, it was a good ball from Windass through to Cummins, who tried to cross but knocked out for a corner.
Yep.
And the next goal I've got here is 15 minutes. Cummins got his first goal. Lovely through ball from Candias. Windass or Cummings could have got to it. Cummins ended up taking the ball. He went to the right hand side of the box at a very tight angle. He put it high past the keeper. Fantastic goal and composure, and just the determination from Cummins there. He was getting the ball even though Windass might have been potentially in a better position to get the ball.
No, he is. He's eager to score, Derek. You can see that as soon as the ball comes to him, the only thing on his mind is to get a shot in and goal. And as you say, for a very acute angle, great goal. I actually thought, when he hit it that hard, that precise. I thought that it was actually past the post because the goalkeeper didn't seem to move. And then the next minute, you seen it was in the back of the net. So it just shows how how good, how clinical a finish it was. I'm really, really pleased for him, especially at Ibrox as well. So brilliant.
Yep. 17th minute. Falkirk had a shot from 25 yards just by the right hand post. However, Anik have it covered. And this is the bit of controversy here. On the 19th minute, a free kick was given to Falkirk near our box, and in the kind of setup of it, Bates was clear as day punched in the balls by the Falkirk attacker.
Yeah, it was the Falkirk captain, the boy Muirhead, that done it, Derek. It was as clear as day. We all seen it totally. And as I say, I was watching the game as usual with my laddie, and even he said straight away, he's just been punched in the balls. I was like, no, can he be? And then clear as day, the replays, you've seen it, because I had kind of looked away at that point, so it wasn't until the replays that I'd seen it, but he'd seen it straight away. And since then, watching it back, clear as anything, Derek. There's no even... He can't even make any excuses that he was trying to do anything else. It was a clear punch, a low blow in there, right in front of the referee again, and the assistant referees. Everybody's seen it. So what is the excuse for that one?
I mean, the whole point is he's given a yellow. It's not as if he's missed it and given nothing.
Yep.
He's given a yellow card to him.
Yep.
So it's once again violent conduct, and regardless if he meant to hit him in the balls, he meant to hit him in the chest or whatever, he's raised his hand.
Yeah.
And as what's been highlighted in the Heart and Hand podcast, it's all about intent. We're told so often it's about the intent of a challenge, the intent of a player. Well, what intent was this then? Because it was clearly to inflict an injury on the player. You know, because he either flicked him out in the balls or flicked out in the chest, whatever way you want to look at it. It was clearly in the balls, but he lashed out that way. So it's got to be a clear red. And to add insult to injury, I'm not even going to blame our defence for this one. The resulting free kick, it was floated in by Falkirk, wasn't dealt with, came out to the Falkirk player who had a shot. It was going absolutely miles wide, probably nearer the corner flag than our goal line. And Muirhead, completely unaware of where the ball was, hit his head into the back of the net.
Yeah, I know.
That was the same player who should have been off.
They should have been sent off, yes.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Anyway, it was a wee bit deflated, but again, as I said, I wasn't blaming the defenders for that, because it was a complete fluke goal, and we done the best thing possible. We taken the quick kick-off. Windass went wide left Windass hit the ball wide left to Halliday. Good cross to Cummins, who controlled it and shot into the back of the net. A minute later, for a reply, went 2-1 up. Fantastic.
Yep, superb. Yep, and as you say, absolutely brilliant just to get back into the game and take the lead so early after that setback. So no, delighted with that.
Yep, and on the 39th minute, it was a free kick from Falkirk from 30 yards, looped shot, forcing Anik to tip it over the bar. And on the 43rd minute, we all thought Cummins had got his hat-trick, but it turned out it was an OG, and we went 3-1 up. It was a quick free kick on the right, great cross on the deck from Candias to Morelos, tried to flick the ball, however, went under his legs and hits off the knees of the Falkirk defender into the back of the net. If it never hit off, if the Falkirk defender wasn't there, it was going right to Cummins anyway to knock it in. So, and I believe that the defender it knocked off of was Muirhead. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. So I getting a bit. He's just deserts there. So no, as you say, if it hadn't hit him, it was right in front of Cummings to tap it anyway, Derek. So quite clearly. But the one thing I'd like to say though is that everything from live score to the commentary and everything, I all had it down as Cummings had scored his hat-trick, even though you could quite clearly seen that it was an own goal. So it was like that on live score right to the very end, that it was Cummings that scored all 4 goals in the match, when quite clearly it hadn't been. It was strange as well, because he never celebrated at all, so you thought it was getting ruled offside or something like that. So, but the goal stood. Into half-time, obviously, I don't think there was really much doubt in the game. Falkirk had a couple of chances, but nothing really major. 55th minute, it was a good challenge by Falkirk defender in the box on Windass. Momentum takes the head of Windass right into the head of the other Falkirk defender. It looked a really sore one, but he came up fine after a stoppage there, but it did look quite a nasty one. 59th minute, it was a good move from Docherty to Candias. Cross in, Morelos had a shot, but it was right at the keeper. 64th minute, good looping pass from Docherty to Cummins going forward. Cummins had a shot, but saved from the keeper, and then the defender puts out for the corner. 67th minute, Goss came off and Holt came on. 72nd minute, a chance for Morelos, could have squared it, but took it on himself, and the keeper saved. And it's 74th minute, Cummins eventually got his hat-trick. Play started from Holt back at our corner, got the ball out. It was a quick break, lovely flick from Candias to Windass. Morelos was miles offside, so he couldn't pass. Got himself back onside. There was a pass to him, hits a shot 1v1 with the keeper, saved out to Cummins, who tapped it back in. So, good break, certainly. Morelos, we'll get into him at the end of the game. I think he could have done a wee bit better, but still, fortunately, we ended up getting the goal in the first place anyway. So, 79th minute, Candias and Windass off, Miller and Dodo came on, and 86th minute, the last piece of play here, Morelos was 1v1 with the keeper, tries to take it round to the keeper, completely lazy, and the keeper gets the ground and saves. So
again, going back to the whole, he has too long to think about things, Derek, rather than just going for it, trying the shot. As you say, a wee bit lackadaisical by him. It's just about the only thing in his play that he needs to work on.
Yeah. Just obviously the game itself, fantastic. Can't take it away. We never really looked like losing the game at all. Even when we went to one each, it was instantly right back in it. Just on Morelos there. People, were criticising him. I would say for that performance, quite right. There was something up with him. I think that in this game, there didn't seem to be any sort of partnership there between Cummins or Morelos. They didn't seem to want to pass to each other, which you could say is a good thing in some respects, because they're both hungry. They both want to get the goals. However, there needs to be teamwork, and that's how we've got the goals in the last few games. Is the way we've been playing with working as a team.
Yeah.
But Morelos does seem to be a bit of a moody player at the best of times, but there seems to be an attitude issue. I don't mind players having an off game, because every player has an off game. Christ, Windass has enough of them, and he seems to still get his game a lot of the time. But it's the attitude that annoys me, because his attitude was honking in this game. I thought, hopefully, as I said in the reaction pod, hopefully it's not a result of obviously the Chinese transfer falling through. A lot's been said online about what do we do for the Old Firm game coming up on Sunday? Do we start? Who do we start? But
well, that's what I'm going to be getting into. Obviously, when you cover the next matches and things like that, is it? And I hate to use this, Derek, but he is a young guy. So is Cummings, and again, I hope this isn't the case, because obviously we're older, we're more mature about these things. But is it the fact that Morelos was the fans' favourite, and now all of a sudden Cummings has came in and everybody's daft about Cummings, and he's kind of taking the limelight away from him a wee bit? Do you think he's a wee bit jealous? I don't know, young guy.
But then
the
thing is, you look at his performances. He has an off game, and then he comes back and plays great the next game. So it's. Yeah. As I said, he's a bit of a moody player, and I don't mind having the off game when another player's picking up the slack like that, like Cummins obviously did this game. But you would think you've got to play as a team, and I think had that been another game and we weren't converting chances and he was playing like that, it might have been a different story. So anyway, obviously, it does set up the semi-final with the draw being against Celtic, and that's getting played on Sunday the 15th of April, which is
nightmare, Derek, nightmare.
Yes, causing you an issue, isn't it?
Yes, because I'm not going to get to see it at all. Flying home from my holidays on that day, our flight actually takes off at 2:30. I was praying that it was going to be on the Saturday so that I could have went to the Bluebell Bar and watched it in there. It's not going to be. I'm absolutely gutted. I can't say any more, Derek. It might be a good thing that I'm not getting it. Maybe me no watching it will be an omen. I don't know. I always try and think about these things. But yep, absolutely gutted that I'm not going to get to see it, but completely out with my control, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, given the fact that you're getting, is it 1-2 weeks in the sun?
That's correct, mate.
Aye,
yes.
I'm not going to feel any sympathy whatsoever there for you. So.
You need no surprises there.
One great thing to see though from the players is obviously the draw got made in Ibrox after the Falkirk game. And when Rangers got drawn against Celtic, there was a audible cheer from our dressing room, which was fantastic to see. These players are up for it. These players, know what it's all about now, and I think that's what's great about this team now is they seem to be working together. They seem to have bonded as a team. They seem to be wanting to play for each other. And as I said on Twitter the other day, is a case of Walter Smith's second reign might have not been a team full of technically great players, but they all played together as a team, and that's why we've done so well. That's why we got to the the UEFA Cup final, is because they worked together as a team. I mean, we have fucking Kirk Broadfoot in our team, and he's a UEFA Cup finalist.
Exactly.
That says it all about
and Scottish internationalist, Derek.
Exactly, and professional egg poacher as well.
No, it is. I know what you're coming from, Derek, but we do have a lot of very technically gifted players in the team now, but as you say, they're all working together as a team. There's a bit of grit there. I think Graham Murty, the players that he's brought in, I know it's not just been, Graham Murty, Mark Allen's had a lot to do with it, but the players that we've brought in, Derek, have all gelled very quickly, which is quite incredible, and they are looking like a top team at the moment, and the confidence is there. We just have to hope that confidence spills through for Sunday now, and they go out and put out, a performance that we know that they're capable of, and a performance that we've been waiting for against Celtic for a long time now. So, fingers crossed. How do you see this game going, Derek?
I always like when we're the underdogs because there's no expectation in us. Obviously, there's always an expectation of every game, never mind every Old Firm game we go into. But obviously, it's going to be tough. Celtic are not playing very well, but you always expect them to raise their game for us. But if we're playing as we can play and we know they can play, we've always got to think that we can do well against them. I think the last game we went there thinking, right, a draw's, we'll be perfectly happy with a draw.
Exactly.
This game is obviously completely different because the tide's turned a wee bit now. We can put Celtic under a lot of pressure by putting the gap down to 3 points, albeit slightly artificially. But it's a big incentive for the players, and I don't think that, after the reaction to the semi-final draw, I think these players know what it means now. I don't think there's any doubts about that, and they want to do well. So it's going to be interesting.
Right.
So we'll just need to wait.
Next question, Derek, and it's a question that it's actually a sort of two-parter here. Now, let's assume, and we've been reading a lot today, that there's going to be a chance that Declan John's going to be fit to play, which is fantastic news if that is the case. So let's say he's back at left back. What defence do you put out first of all? Do you keep the defence of Bates and Russell Martin in this at centre half, or do you bring Bruno Alves in for Russell Martin? I honestly think that Bates at this moment in time, you can't drop the guy. No. I think he's been outstanding. I've told you that already. I've went on about it. The question is though, with Bruno Alves back to full fitness, do you put him in, or do you keep Russell Martin in to play alongside Bates?
Well, it might be taken out of our hands because I've seen on Facebook, now I don't know if this is verified or not, but a guy named Dean Martin, if you believe it or not, it said that he's the dad of Martin, and he says that he's going to be out for the Old Firm game because he's done something with his back. So I don't know if that is real genuine or not.
Okay.
That came from some random on Twitter, whether it is his dad or not. But all being if both of them are fit, I would say you keep Martin. There seems to be a partnership working there.
Yep. I agree with you. And then the next thing, you've already brought it up. I've had a discussion with quite a few guys on Twitter. The discussion was somebody put that he thinks that Windass 100% should not be playing against Celtic in the next game, and that Cummings should be in his place. I got back to him personally. I says, look, I think that Cummings is pivotal to us playing well and winning, and his link-up play with Morelos is second to none, and quite rightly got back. So I wasn't having a slagging match with the guy. Quite rightly got back. He said, no, in my opinion, Windass has never done anything against Celtic. He seems to hide when he's playing against them. He doesn't play as well at Ibrox as he does away from home. I think it would be too much of a risk, and he would be a bit of a passenger. Therefore, I would rather have Cummings playing. I want to see Windass play personally. I think, again, if he does click, if it's him and Morelos, I would rather have him in for Cummings, even although Cummings is on form at the moment, Derek. I don't know if this is the best game for Cummings. Personally, I would stick with the team if they're all fit. Again, hoping and praying that Docherty's fit, that we managed to get the same team that we put out against Hearts a few games ago. I don't know if you feel the same way. Would you rather have Windass playing, or would you rather have Cummings playing, considering how well he played on in the last game against Falkirk?
I would say Cummings is more a formidable person to come on. When you look at a bench, you would say, right, if I've got Windass coming on, all right, that's an option. But if I've got somebody who's a proven goal scorer coming on, if the game's going either way, then I would say that would put the fear into some teams. Both of them are not number 10s, I don't think. They're not natural number 10s, I don't think.
See, I don't know. I tend to disagree with you there, Derek. I think that Windass, I think that's his position. I think that's where he plays his best football, is playing just behind a main striker. I wouldn't play him anywhere else, personally, to be honest with you. I know he's played on both the left and the right for us, but I think that's definitely his position there. Whereas Cummings, I would say, was a striker. But that's my opinion.
If that is the case, then it would really depend on how Murty's going to line up, I would say. Can't see us going two up front, to be honest.
No.
So I would say probably Windass, because he maybe provides a wee bit more in terms of goals, but it provides a wee bit more in terms of chances created. It just means that Morelos has to be on form, and these silly wee chances he gets, that he needs to convert them, because we can't afford not to. Whereas I think that Cummins would naturally, because he doesn't seem to need to have that moment of thinking about things.
I don't know, Derek. I think that the players need to get it into their head. I don't think we should be respecting them as much as we are. I think we should be sticking to our own game and going out there and thinking that we're playing, any other team out there, and not saying, oh, it's Celtic we're playing, and thinking about pressure. I think we're giving them far too much praise, considering the way that we're playing just now, and I've not felt like that in a long time. I hope it's a good omen that I've got, but I just think that if we go out there and stick to our game plan and play the way that we do, I think we'll get a victory. I really do. I hope I'm right. I hope, this time next week I'm sitting here saying, oh God, why did I say that? And it's went horribly wrong, because there is always that doubt in your head, isn't there? But if I think we go out and just stick to it, go for it like we have been, I think we should get the victory. Do you feel the same way?
I think so. We play our own game and we don't worry about what they do. We know we can win. So
yep.
Just kind of getting back to the last wee bits here. We did actually play a bounce game yesterday as well against St Mirren. It was a 1-1 draw at Auchenhowie, with O'Halloran scoring. Lee Wallace got Michael O'Halloran. Exactly who?
Him? Okay.
He scored our goal. Lee Wallace got a 90-minute run out, and Herrera, Dodu, Cardoso and Crancher also featured as well. In the table, we are played 29, won 18, drawn 4, lost 7, scored 59, conceded 32, goal difference plus 27, and we're on 58 points. Now we're sitting at second, 6 points behind Celtic, who've got a game in hand. We're 6 points ahead of Aberdeen, who've got a game in hand, and 10 points ahead of Hibs, who have a game in hand. Obviously, Celtic have got a game in hand over us due to their Dundee game being postponed due to the snow. And we really should start running a Sevco of the week type thing.
No, Derek, it was the snow. It was a Masonic conspiracy. It was nothing to do with the snow.
I was just going to say that, because this is just the most bunker nut thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was brilliant.
Rangers getting blamed and the SPFL getting blamed to try and favour Rangers because we're putting the safety of fans, the SPFL for a change, we're putting the safety of fans ahead of any sporting event. One guy even came out and said it had been organised a year ago as the weather forecast had been done, and if they looked at the fixtures and they said, oh, how can we shaft Celtic?
Aye.
I mean,
no, Derek, the best one I seen was, it was all to do because it was an orange weather warning at that point. Seriously, I'm being serious. I seen a tweet to do with that. They can't hide their bigoted conspiracies and the way that they'll get. It's even called an orange weather warning, which I thought was absolutely incredible. But Derek, I was wetting myself all day. It was the best bit of comedy that I'd seen. The amount of tweets that were coming out, and again, the Kerrydale meltdown page on Twitter is a must for any supporter out there, regardless what team you support. Just to go in and see some of the things that they're finding to put on there, it was brilliant. It really was.
I mean, I've no doubt that there's going to be a few parody accounts that are taking the piss at Celtic fans and posing as Celtic fans, but at the same time, we know how fucking bunker nut crazy they are.
It was superb.
And I can quite imagine there is not one of the ones out there that have tried to say all this kind of thing, that they're a parody account. They genuinely believe shit like this goes on, and that is what is just absolutely hilarious about it.
It's been great because there's been other things that have happened as well since then, and it's just been the whole comedy element from them. It's great. It's actually kept me going, Derek. I've been off and I've been no well. It's even the last few days with the whole UEFA coefficient for the last 10 years, that has caused such an explosion of hate for them. Has been incredible. It's been so funny. It's brilliant.
Just obviously the games to come, as was said, on Sunday the 11th of March, we're at home to Celtic, which is our 12 o'clock kick-off. Again, it's a game I don't know if I'm going to get to watch at all. But Saturday the 17th of March at home to Killie, it's a 1500 kick-off. Saturday the 31st of March, which is away to Motherwell, it's a 12:30 kick-off. Saturday the 7th of April at home to Dundee, 1500 kick-off. And as we said, the game after that, Sunday the 15th of April, it's at Hampden, 14:30 kick-off, and that's in the Scottish Cup semi-final.
Okay.
So that wraps that section up now, and we will go into the classic match.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
So Dave, what classic match have you got for us this time?
Well, since we were drawn against Celtic in the Cup semi-final, Derek, Scottish Cup semi-final, I was having a wee look back for such matches in the past, and I came upon an old firm Scottish Cup semi-final which was played in 1996. It was on the 7th of April 1996, played at Hampden, Rangers versus Celtic, and the Rangers team that day was Andy Gorham, our friend Graham Clark's hero Alec Cleland at right back, Davy Robertson, Gordon Petrich, Alan McLaren, John Brown, then Gordon Durie, Paul Gascoigne, Ali McCoist, Stuart McCall and Brian Laudrup. Now, looking at that team, I'm trying to think of the sort of formation that we were kind of playing then, which was a strange one. I think possibly John Brown and Stuart McCall playing in midfield with Gordon Durie, and Gascoigne obviously playing in front of them with maybe Gordon Durie just to the right, Brian Laudrup on the left and McCoist up front. I think possibly, I'm not quite sure what the team was, the formation. Celtic team that day, Gordon Marshall, Tom Boyd, Tosh McKinlay, Jackie McNamara, John Hughes, Peter Grant, Simon Donnelly, Paul McStay, Pierre Van Hooijdonk, Andres Tom and McLaughlin. So quite a lot of famous names there when both teams, the game was played in front of about 36,000 people. I don't know what was happening with Hampden, if it was getting done up at that point. It was a reduced crowd there. But as usual, it's got off to a very frantic start. Celtic were applying the pressure. Andres Tom got himself into a good position with a long shot, just clipped the back of the stanchion, just over the bar there. Then not long after that, Paul Gascoigne picks up the ball in midfield, plays a great ball to Ali McCoist on the left, who runs into the box. He beat his man, hands down, beats Marshall. He was just about to have a shot, and then it was a sort of last-ditch tackle. Should really have had a shot earlier, or passed it over to Brian Laudrup, who was completely unmarked. But, McCoist, was known for his goals and wasn't known for his set-up play, so unlucky there. It didn't take the lead. Not long after that, Jackie McNamara with a shot for the edge. It was high and wide. And then Paul Gascoigne starting to impose himself there. A 1-2 with Gordon Durie. He had a sort of half-hearted shot. Wasn't hard enough to trouble Marshall at that point. Then Celtic started getting back into the game, applying pressure. They had a shot just past the post, which was resulting in 2 corners, but we were able to deal with that. And then on the 43rd minute, we took the lead just before half time.
Goal now for either side could be so telling. Lover's pass finds Robertson. Chance for McCoist! 2 minutes of half time. Rangers take the lead. Gordon Marshall made the parry. We're embedding that run, I think. It's a superb reverse pass by Laudrup, and goalkeeper does well, but who else but McCoist? He's always in those positions. But this pass by Laudrup is brilliant. He obviously has eyes in the back of his head. Goalkeeper does his best to keep it out, and there's McCoist to put it away. Put the ball in the net. Stuart
McCall over to Brian Laudrup with a reverse pass to Robertson, who was running down the left-hand side. Fantastic. Gets to the edge of the box. He hits a shot, which is a great save, parried by Marshall, but straight in front of who else? Ali McCoist, who was not going to miss from there. Rangers take the lead just before half-time. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Crowd well up for it. I was at this game, Derek. Absolutely sensational, in at half time. Place was bouncing. So then, half time, straight away, Rangers started off the second half the way they had ended the first. Applying the pressure, possession for Paul Gascoigne to Brian Laudrup, to Alec Cleland, back to Laudrup, a through ball to Gordon Durie, who'd made an incredible run on the right-hand side. You were sure he was going to score the goal. He shoots just over, so it was still 1-0. Really should have scored that one. Then, not long after that, Stuart McCall has a fantastic tackle in the middle. He wins the ball. It sort of lands straight onto Brian Laudrup's on the left-hand side. He plays a great ball to Robertson, who runs into the box, to the byline. Great ball across. A low across, it was just to be tapped in by anybody, and then it was a really good last-ditch clearance by Tom Boyd, managed to get in there. It would have been a certain goal. Celtic, though, applying the pressure not long after that. Pierre Van Hooijdonk with a shot that was just wide, and then Paul McStay picked up the ball in midfield, run, an incredible shot. Luckily for us, it was straight at Andy Gorham. He managed to parry it away, and then it got cleared. So Celtic were applying the pressure at that point, but then it came to the magic of Brian Laudrup on the 67th minute.
Now Laudrup with Durie outside him. Pass return, he's onside. Here's Laudrup for Rangers. It's the second goal! The sucker punch for Rangers! Joy for Walter Smith on the bench. Laudrup has opened up Celtic by himself here. A little bit of help from Gordon Durie on the right. There was the pass. The return time perfect to leave him onside. It's the old sucker punch, because Celtic have really had this tendency. They've been putting Rangers defence under pressure. They stretch themselves a little bit at the back, trying to get that equaliser. And when you've got someone with the quality that Laudrup's got, it's always dangerous. It's a ball goes through the middle. He makes his chance. It makes it look so easy.
Celtic were applying the pressure, but Rangers get the ball out to Brian Laudrup. He flicks the ball to Gordon Durie on the right and keeps running. Durie spots this and lobs the ball back through to Brian Laudrup, who controls it with his chest. It was as if he sort of concave into his chest. The ball just stuck to his chest as he bulleted through. It just bounced just in front of him at the edge of the box. Marshall come rushing out and he lobbed it beautifully right over him, Derek, into the goal. Tremendous goal for Brian Laudrup. Tremendous counter-attacking play by Rangers, and it really took the wind out of Celtic's sails at that point. Fantastic. And, for about the next 13 minutes after that, Rangers were basically passing the ball about. Celtic did get a goal back, though, in the 81st minute, a cross in towards Van Hooijdonk with a header that got past Andy Gorham. Celtic applying the pressure on at the end. They had a couple of chances. One which was shot over from quite close distance, but again Rangers managed to hold out. Excellent win for them, and set us up into the cup final, which we know happened there, which set us up against Hearts in the cup final not long after that, which basically became known as the Brian Laudrup show after that for him. But sensational game, Derek. I would be delighted if there was a repeat of that performance and goals scored and the score for the next time we play Celtic in the cup semi-final. And as I say, if you get a chance, go back onto YouTube and have a wee look at that one, because there were some fantastic players on show at that stage.
I'm just more impressed with your choice of phrase there. He made a concave out of his chest.
Concave, did you like that?
But yes, a fantastic game, great memories. It's one of the games I actually do remember.
Yep.
And like you said, hopefully that can be a mirror image of the semi-final.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
Yep, so the links will be up on our website there, and hopefully you can go and take a look at that. So we'll now go into the news.
From ITN, the ITV News at 10 with Trevor McDonald.
Right, a couple of bits and pieces as ever to talk about here. Get rid of some of the heavier stuff first. Dave King has lost his appeal from the Court of Session that he has to offer every shareholder 20p per share to basically buy up the rest of the shares that he doesn't own. It's £11 million total. The courts did concede, apparently, I believe this is the case, that New Oasis Asset Limited, which is his trust, could make the offer on his behalf. There's still going to be no issues for Rangers as it stands just now. It's going to cost King a couple of £100,000 to issue the offer in the first place, which is, I think, part of the reason why he was appealing it. One of the other parts is it's probably the most fruitless issue ever, for the fact that he has to offer them at 20p per share when they're actually sitting at something like 27p per share just now.
Yeah.
So who in their right mind is actually going to sell? I don't know. But
yep.
As usual, that got the Moonhowlers absolutely delighted about that, and they went apoplectic over that, saying, "Oh, we're in trouble," and all that kind of thing. Usual bullshit. I'm not going to get involved in that. Next thing here we have got is Ross McCrory is ruled out for the whole month of March. Yeah, that was a story at the end of February there, and he's still injured from the trip to Florida, so it's still no good for the wee man there. But
no, it's not. No, and thankfully, Derek, the way that Docherty Goss have been playing, has been good for us. But as I've said before, I think he's a special player. I think he gives us everything that both Ryan Jack and Jason Holt bring. He's basically those two players combined. That's the way I see him. We've got one player, a young guy that can do what both of the guys can do for us. He's got the tackling ability. He's got the sturdiness and the sternness. He's also got he's a fantastic passer of the ball, and his vision's excellent as well. So, we hope he comes back to full fitness, because him in there as well would be absolutely fantastic for us if fully fit again.
Yep. Another player that's ruled out for the rest of the season, unfortunately, is Ryan Jack. Obviously, that we've said that earlier on about that challenge that Keepery done, and the guy wasn't even yellow carded, and it's ruled him out for half a season. Absolutely scandalous.
Yep.
Another player who's playing well for us is Goss, and Murty stated in a press conference that he would love to sign him as a permanent deal, and they're looking into it, despite what Les Ferdinand said when he initially came on loan, that he's going right back to QPR. And Ian Holloway bizarrely came out and slammed Murty for talking about his player in the press conference, which is crazy, because somebody put a screenshot of something he said exact same about a player he had on loan before. So,
I think Ian Holloway's needing to worry about his own job, Derek, because things aren't going well. Queen's Park Rangers at the moment, they've had a lot of defeats, and he's under a hell of a lot of pressure. That could be very good for us, Derek, if that was the case. I'm thinking very, very, very selfishly here, for us, for that fact, because as I say, last night they drew 1-1 at home with Derby. And I'm looking at them in the moment, and they're sitting 16th in the league, so they're not sitting that great. A few more defeats and they'll be down in the relegation zone. So if anything happens there to Ian Holloway, if he doesn't manage to pull it around and he ends up leaving or anything like that, that could be good for us, because certainly if we had a couple of £1 million to offer and we get him for that, then it would be a fantastic acquisition for us.
Yep.
So we just have to hope that something can, a deal can be struck there, because he has settled into the team instantly, hasn't he? Yep. He's been a star for us, him and Docherty. I think that's been the key. A big part of the key to our success is how well those two have settled in and gelled so quickly. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely, and he was asked about it, obviously, after the furore about this. He was asked about what his thoughts are, and he says he's not even thought about his future, but he's enjoying playing for us as well. Yep. So that can put a kibosh up Ian Holloway's fucking arse right there. Apparently, the director of football and Holloway have since talked about it, so hopefully bridges have been built there. But as you said, he needs to worry about his own job first. So
exactly. I don't know if you heard the other news also about Goss, Derek, that apparently there is discussions ongoing. I was reading a few reports from some of the newspapers in Northern Ireland that they are exploring the chance of him getting a cap for Northern Ireland because of grandparents. So I mean that'd be fantastic for him as well if he would get a call up internationally. But here's hoping that happens when he's officially a Rangers player, and not before, which could maybe spurn any chance that we have of signing him permanently. But it shows you how well the guy's playing, that he's being looked at and considered for that as well. If there is a chance that he could play international football for Northern Ireland, it shows you how well he is playing for us just now.
Yeah. Talking about other players as well, Murty was asked in a presser, our presser, bearing in mind, about Scott Brown retiring from Scotland. Murty couldn't believe that he was being asked about this in the Rangers presser. He's basically thanked him for his service and said it could open up opportunities for his own players to fill that spot. I put this on Twitter as well, and I'm just absolutely annoyed at some fans really just going mental about Murty even talking about Scott Brown. He was asked a question, he's given an answer, he's turned it back round to talking about us, which is the correct thing he done. What was he meant to say? I'm not talking about that. There was one fan on Twitter came round and said to me, no, he should be refusing to answer that. He should be telling Trainer, on level 5 to step in. Do you remember when Trainer on level 5 stepped in when Warburton was asked continually about his future and about various things in level 5, and Trainer stepped in? The story was about that. It wasn't about the actual question, and it just made us look like fannies. So he's not going to do the non-professional thing of saying, no, I'm not answering that, is he? I don't understand some fans. I really don't.
I think he conducts himself very well, Derek. I think he conducts himself as a very sort of humble guy who's there to do a professional job and, cares about his team and his players and having them play well. I think that's excellent. He doesn't come out with his own opinions on stuff like that. He does come out as being very humble, and I think that's the way he should be playing it just now, so that he can't. There isn't any negative press out there, and there isn't this arrogance that can get thrown back in your face. So I think he plays it really well with the press, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we hold pressers all the time now, and it's probably more so than what we used to do in Walter Smith days. Do you think Walter Smith was in the background saying, I love this guy, I love this Celtic player? No, he was probably saying he was a wee dick. Quite rightly so. I think some fans have got to remember that you've got to show professionalism, and Rangers are built on that professionalism and class. Do you think we're going to tarnish that by saying, I'm not speaking about him, he's a wee dick?
And we certainly don't want to go down the route of being like certain other clubs, that like to come away with stuff in their AGMs and that about their rival teams and things like that. That's not us, Derek. I'm behind you 100% there.
Yeah. Next thing here is talking about a wee bit of class. Obviously there was issues with the tickets, genuine tickets at the Fraserburgh game and the Scottish Cup, and Fraserburgh have shown some class here as well. They've issued those fans with genuine tickets who didn't get into the game a refund for the ticket and a really nice letter of apology, as well as offered them to get in contact if you're up there around before, and they'll get into a game on the house for them. So it was really good to see. Obviously doesn't compensate them for the travel and the time wasted, but they were quite surprised that the quality of the counterfeit tickets that were out there, apparently.
Right, okay.
And the last story I've got here to do with Rangers is apparently Charles Green and Imran Ahmed have been cleared of the fraud case that were obviously involved in Craig White and all that. So it looks as if the official charges have all been dropped and there are no further investigation, which
incredible.
Is the Crown, is the police, is everyone telling us all that there was absolutely nothing criminal that went on within Rangers due to the whole takeover thing. I somehow think that is bullshit.
It's incredible, Derek. After everything that we've been through for that to happen and for them to come out and no findings and that's it. It's absolutely incredible. And as you say, with everything that happened, with the state the club was in, they can't find anything at all illegal that's went on. It's baffling. It really is. It's
not just the fact that I know some fans will link it back to the EBTs, but this has got nothing to do with this. It was down to the fact that White came in and clearly he wasn't paying bills, and that's what eventually put us into administration. And then it was all the allegedly dodgy deals that have went on in there. I mean, there's certain things that have, there's money that's gone missing quite clearly, and there's money that's been pocketed and not been taken. I mean, where was all the season ticket money went to? Where was all the share issue that Charles Green done went to? That's what we want to know.
Exactly. And as I say, for that, for you saying that they've found that there's nothing illegal taking place, it's staggering to think that that's all happened and nobody's been held accounted for, Derek. Absolutely incredible.
So many conflicts of interest in that is just baffling, and I'm not going to delve too much into that there, because we would end up getting into trouble for that. So, but it looks as if nothing's going to happen about that now unless some major evidence comes to light. So, and even then, I don't know if the whole double jeopardy rule comes into that there or no. So we all know that Dave's flying shortly on holiday. I just hope he doesn't follow this guy's lead.
Okay.
Passenger arrested for getting naked to watch porn on Malaysian flight.
Okay.
A passenger on a flight from Malaysia has been arrested after he bizarrely decided to strip off mid-air, load up some high-quality porn on his phone and lie back and have a wank.
I didn't quite think that the reporters said that, though, Derek, did it?
Well,
lie back and have a wank.
It depends what site you look at here.
I don't want to look at the sites that you're looking at for us.
The man, 20-year-old Bangladeshi student at Malaysian University, also walked to the toilet with no clothes on, pissed all over his seat and attacked a flight attendant during the flight from Kuala Lumpur.
Pissed all over his seat?
I hope it was just piss anyway.
I take it he must have been on some weird trip, Derek. Big time.
Well, he was only going to Malaysia, wasn't he?
Boom, boom.
Following that theme as well, people have maybe seen this in the news already. The headline is, "The Germans are coming." German football fan arrested for masturbating in stadium before Schalke Hertha Berlin match.
This is quite worrying, Derek. Do you know why? Because after Josh Windas's goal against St Johnstone, you actually text me to say, "I think I've just sex weed." Is this something similar, do you think?
Not at all, no. It was before the game, so.
It was before the game.
Before
right,
the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Each to their own. And
keeping on the theme of genitalia here, firefighters free man's genitals from a spanner. DIY enthusiasts are warned against mishandling tools. Which tool are they talking about there? After being called to free a man who took tightening his nuts to a new level.
Oh, man alive, right?
Firefighters have warned the dangers of mishandling tools after a man's genitals became trapped in a ring spanner. Crews were called to assist A&E staff with a patient at Royal Gwent Hospital in Newport, South Wales on Wednesday. They had to use their cutting equipment to remove the steel tool. South Wales Fire and Rescue issued a warning on social media afterwards. If you're using tools, make sure you're handling them as manufacturer recommends.
Well, it's true, Derek. He's maybe looked at the instructions and it said, use this to screw nuts. You don't know.
Oh, why would people do that? I don't know.
Exactly. And you've really got to ask yourself, what explanation did he give when he walked into the hospital to find a spanner hanging for his willy? Really?
I don't know. There's so many innuendos about steel tools and all that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So, on that note, and I've got plenty more, but I'm going to leave it there.
I am quite sure you are.
And that wraps it up for this podcast. As ever, you can find us on our website at ireadypodcast.wordpress.com. Our Facebook account is facebook.com/ireadypod. Facebook is at ireadypod. We have our Instagram account as well, which you can see pictures of games we've been to, and we've got our YouTube account where you can find our podcasts as well.
Yep.
So, me and Dave will hopefully be back next week after the Old Firm game. Just depends on our situations with travelling and youngsters that may have arrived or not.
Exactly, Derek. Yeah, this could potentially be your last podcast, still being, just you and the missus in the house. The next one, you could be, part of three of a family. You never know.
Exactly. So, we'll wait and see how that one turns out.
Exactly. Regardless, I'm actually looking forward to the Old Firm game on Sunday. I hope that's not a bad thing. I'm sure you are as well, Derek. So hopefully you get to watch it, mate.
Hopefully as well, yes. So
yeah.
On that note, thanks very much and goodbye.
Yep, take care everyone. We are the people. Cheers.
Thousands of supporters, and we don't do walking away.
Two seconds. It's okay, it was only my tea.
All right, that's fine. I was terrified that I was going to hear push, push.